YouTube. All right, Monday, March 22nd, 2021. Banff National Park news and conditions. We are open Monday to Friday, except this week, because I'm going up to the WAPTA on Wednesday, and I don't have anybody. I'm going to get Lars to come in and fill in for me on those days that I cannot be in town, which there will be plenty of those. So what's going on in our world, do you think? How's everybody's weekend? Mine was pretty good. Second display. You know what I did with this weekend? Well, with Avon, we did our Canadian firearms safety course so that we can purchase ammunition and firearms. So when the zombie apocalypse comes, we could rule. We're going to rule the dirt. Stop recording. Alrighty. So let's take a look at the weather for the week. What is going on? Try something else. Oh, you know what it's going to be? Are you sure you want to stop recording? Yes. Okay, now we can do this, guys. Sorry. Still new with this software. It's only been a couple of weeks, and it's a pretty big piece of software. So let's transition to bang, the weather. Still relatively mild, eh? Oops, I'm looking at, you know what I'm looking at here, Does? I'm looking at Banff, right. Yeah, true enough, still mild. Looking for some precip. Some happening today, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Looks like some precipitation coming in, and that is kind of obviously, this is the 500 millibar precipitable water, and you can see it's coming in, and to the north actually is quite a bit more. So we're sitting right about here. Why don't I just raise my cursor so that you guys can see it? You can check my mail and text out while you're at it if you like. And we go to accessibilities. We go to display. We go to cursor. We make that puppy big. Then we go back. There we are, right? So here we are. We're right in here. A lot of this stuff seems to be tracking further up here. The Queen Charlotte's. And then coming back down, and so we're getting trace amounts of precipitation. But my guess is probably further north, Jasper area, the Icefield's going to get quite a bit more snow than we are. I think we're going to get enough to heal up the skiing and not actually raise the avalanche hazard too much. Let's have a look here. So we got this. You're looking probably tomorrow would probably be great skiing. Pretty much anywhere in the Lake Louise and further north as far as Bow would go. And then also I would say, yeah, Friday, but the weekend is actually, it's going to look really good next weekend. So you guys might want to plan for some bigger stuff. I don't think we're going to see any changes with this, these temperatures. You see here, not much of a freeze here, eh, overnight. Oh, and the freezes are a little better. This is going to be actually pretty good, I would guess, right? So what does Jasper going on for the week? So if this is coming in further north, then we can expect more precip to the north if this is tracking in the way I think it's tracking. And they're getting about the same, little milder as far as the, yeah, so that air, that warm air mass is carrying all that moisture is probably not, is preventing some of the frost, like the cold. It's not cold and clear, and the air is a little bit warmer. So looks good though. Take a look at Avalanche Canada. Let's take what they got going on over here. I don't even know where we are now. There it is. So Kananaskis is being more conservative. That's not like them. Uh-huh. Lots of news reports. You guys, these little blue things, if you go to the Avalanche page and take a look at them, those little bluey things are trip reports from various people. So they can give you quite a bit of information. Kitchners Peak, blah, 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 observed it. Anyhow, let's take a look at Banff today. And there's Banff, mod low low, and then trending to the better with low low low. And then I don't know how they know what they're thinking about Wednesday, maybe because of new snow and wind transport, maybe. And their concern seems to be adding up higher elevations. Recent snow means steeply gully area gullies and couloirs where small slides could have large consequences. So couloir skiers, you know who you guys are. You're just about everybody these days. Can expect a bunch of loading in there and some sloughs potentially. You could bring them down on yourselves. The other thing I think would be probably wind flaps, or probably might be an issue. But if we looked at slabs, how about here? Here's a profile from Bow Summit taking on March 19th. This is 22nd, so 3 days ago. So Friday-ish. This is the no results in compression tests. All right. So, and they get grains sort of either, well, it'll be rounds going to facets, I guess. This little meat, this loaf of bread here. And then these squares are all facets, size 3 or 4, size 4, 2, 1.5. Got an ice crust. This is probably a melt freeze crust in here, right at the surface. And it's knife hard, knife plus. Which it might be interesting later, eh? We get a bunch of snow on that thing. Have to keep an eye on that. That'd be, see what happens with that. The Parks Canada, what else are we looking at here, buddy? So yeah, there's nothing really surprising outside of it's, you know, pretty solid, right, throughout. What is this? Sort of one finger minus, one finger plus is in densities, one finger through here. And then with the odd, this is a knife, and this would be some sort of crust from December 7th, at 45 right here. Oh, okay. So this is down 20. That's probably insignificant. I don't think unless you get something running full path, but you're only getting 136 height of snow here. So it's fairly shallow, but I don't think. This is a fairly sheltered area, right? And it's right at just above the road level. So 2,500 meters, which if you Bow Lake is at 2,000 meters. So it's 75 feet higher, 25 meters higher than Bow Lake. And just back in the trees where you can't see it, Parks Canada has, just by Bow Summit. Nothing of interest in there. Go back to this, low, 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 nothing. Sure is stable though, eh? Like the skiing is stable as shit. Or the stability. And Google Earth. Oh, we don't need that. Let's take a look at Lake Louise right now so you can see a little bit of snow and overcast. Generally where that sun is, actually right there, right where this line is right here. This Banff is right behind us. So we're about 40 kilometers over this hillside right here. Then to the south, the thing is, sunshine is looking like it's got sunshine, or it was looking like it. I don't, and it is getting clearer. Well, it's partially overcast, but yeah, so it's pretty flat light out at the lake today. This is the shine, looking pretty clear all the way around. There's our parking lot cam. Everybody needs one to have those, right? Didn't they have an Assiniboine cam or something? There's Assiniboine right there. Can't see dick. So they got the grooming done. Sunshine's actually looking good. What did they get? It looks like they got some new. Eh? They're new in there? Come on, let's have a look-see. Hard to tell. What would tell us? What would tell us, folks? Anyhow, hikers. One thing I was going to say. Oh, let's deal with the ice climbers first. Found a real crybaby ice climber the other day. I couldn't believe this chick on Facebook. But I was checking out this ice climb. It's somewhere in the States. Looks a little thin. Looks like the kind of ice that could get delaminated. You can already see water running in here, running in here. Definitely these edges are probably getting delaminated, but something like this could get completely delaminated in a relatively quick time. I mean, it'd be well frozen in the morning, but by the time you come down, you probably knock that thing off. Maybe not now, but at some point. Who knows when this was taken. All right. That's pretty cool. Go back to some other ice climbs that I saw. There wasn't really that much. It's something out of Alaska was kind of interesting. What was that called? The King's Beard Water Ice 5, Victor Creek, Alaska. That's a nice. That's grade 5, and the guy's bringing his girlfriend up. She's looking hot. Looking like she can climb too. Yeah, let's go full screen. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, baby. Hold on. Get back here. There's Buddy knocking it off. This is pretty cool. Like, this thing hasn't been climbed a whole ton of a lot, right? You can tell because he's got to actually build. You don't see that too much. Somebody picking the actual pick holes. But it is Alaska, so let's check out the chick, though. Bang. She's coming up. It's a pretty good little climb, eh? Playing off of the tree, stacking the rope. She's bringing up the second rappel rope. All looking good. Other than that, there ain't a whole lot going on here in Banff area. Boy, things are going to start getting melting out soon. I think probably you could still climb Grotto. Johnson's Canyon will be getting a ton of sun right now. Hafner will be getting some, but it's probably okay for another week or so. Another week to 10 days, I would think. Things on the Weeping Wall. I would be Weeping Wall area. Just watch for delaminating ice once again. Things falling down here. Check these out, eh? Look at these. Let's go full screen. What's that canyon down in Colorado that everybody goes to? That's what this thing is. You can guarantee this is picked out piece of crap. But people like that place. Not that fond of it myself, but some people like it. I shouldn't say anything. I've never been there. I'll probably, at my age, end up having to go there soon. Like the retirement home for people who used to climb. What do they call that again? Twin Falls, no, there it is. Ouray Ice Park. And those guys did it, eh? Like they freaking made an industry out of that thing, from that little town with a bar and leaky water pipes and a hotel to, making it into like the most popular ice climbing venue in the United States of America. And holding their ice festivals and their free ice courses, which is pretty cool, I guess. There's a place like this in Hay River, like this, where it has these canyon walls. Hay River, Northwest Territories, that nobody knows about. But there's miles and miles of these pillars all along the thing, like hundreds of them, maybe thousands, I don't know. But nobody knows those things are there, right? But if anybody's looking for like a, can we go look for it and Google it? We'll do that later. Let's talk about the hikers first. Because the hikers are definitely out there. Just a givener. And the only thing is trail conditions. Let's go see if we can drop that. Bang. Hikers, Facebook. I joined the Alberta Hikers things just so I could pass information on there. Here's my face. People are asking me about my Facebook page. I don't know. It just goes by Joe McKay. I got a message from somebody. J Lutz. 150 meters of pure ice, Captain. Not bad, eh? J Lutz and I have been talking lately. He's from Poland. I don't have a Polish accent of any kind. I can't even fake one because I don't know what they sound like. But we do have hiking. Where was that? Alberta hiking. Right. There we go. I just joined this. I'm not going to last very long. It's heavily moderated, and I never do well with that. I always got to say something. Like, really got to say something. Oh, look at this one. I remember reading this the other day, and holy Christ, lady, who the fuck do you think you are? Ice climbers, photography etiquette. Like, when did that start happening, right? Before we get into that, so a lot of people have been going out. Hey, look at the wolf tracks. But this guy says, judging by the four fingers and thumb, they'd say it's a human track. Yeah, I would say too, eh? A dead giveaway. I think the hiking trails are pretty open. People are going up Howling, I see, pretty consistently, almost daily. Somebody's going up there. There's somebody right here. And they're getting, let's take a look at it. Whatever. So there'd be the summit ridge of Howling right now. There would be a dog on the summit ridge of Howling, and he's not looking too happy, even though he's got a coat on. And he's probably going to pop over that cornice and be hanging by his neck in a minute. There's the town of Canmore. For you out-of-towners, people who are on the other side of the world, lovely little town. Canmore, I'm from Banff, right? Much more sophisticated town, much more, got it going sort of thing. But, and Canmore is where we keep our hillbilly cousins, and they're lovely people, The only problem with Canmore is I feel myself getting dumber by the minute when I'm hanging out there. Actually, I hang out quite a bit there, and that's why I'm probably talking like this. But anyhow, Howling Peak has been done. But you're going to need spikes, right? Invest in some trail spikes of something. I bought these. Where are you guys? Over there. I got these from Gear Up. And they got quite the little spike on the bottom. And if you can see that, right? On the bottom of this puppy. And they're pretty good. They're, they're good on your feet. These have been worn quite a bit. Like, I bought them 2 years ago. I've worn them a lot of stuff on approaches and things. and they don't show any sign of wear. I don't know what the rubber is or anything, but these chains are really strong. And they come in a number of different sizes, and they go by the tag of micro spikes. And that's a trademark. So look up micro spikes. And I'm recommending these things. Like if you want to buy some, they're a little expensive, but you only buy them once and they actually work, you know, on actually really, really icy terrain. And I found them quite good. So I've got a couple of them, one medium and one large, and they seem to be working. My daughter goes up Tunnel Mountain, you know, like 3 or 4 times a week, and that's just solid ice. And hers are looking good, looking good. So anyhow, hikers beware, trails are normally open, avalanche hazard. There's a number of places, both for Kananaskis and Banff. Look under their avalanche hazards and then look over their terrain maps and just see if your hike happens to be going into that terrain. And if it is, then maybe take a look at the Parks Canada or Kananaskis avalanche report. And then correlate that. So it's low, low, low. That sounds good. It looks like you can go a lot of places with like that. But also because of so much of this, what we depend on right now has to do with frost, unless it's an absolutely beaten trail. But if you're walking into the snowpack, like things like going past Lake Louise and places like that, then you had better not only have micro spikes, but do your timing, leave really early and try and be out of there by 10, 11 in the morning. And I wouldn't, you know, honestly, I wouldn't recommend going past Lake Louise if you really don't know. If you can't read one of these things or you don't know where it is and you can't find the map for these guys, like this is Parks Canada, services and departments, I would be hard hit to try and find stuff. There are resources though, and there are weather stations. Where are they? Look at all of them. Lookout. So that's the top of Sunshine. This is a Sunshine, probably a Sunshine pit, or their snow pit, snow study plot. I think 2,200 meters. That sounds about right. Let's have a look at it. Okay, yeah. 168 is their snowpack. They have a big party if they ever hit 2 meters, which doesn't happen that often, but it does happen. Sunshine, Bosworth, this is along Trans-Canada Highway. This would be of interest to people who are going within the, doing the Wapta Traverse. The other Bow Summit would be one for the Wapta Traverse. And Vulture Call is where Bow Hut is, since I'm going there. Let me have a look at that. Temps, relative humidity, wind speeds, 18. Winds are not that bad up there, eh? Max winds are 41 per hour in 6 hour. Direction from the south, that's a little different in the southwest. So that's changed a bit. It might have something to do with this, right? Does this localized? We could get more into that if we wanted to, but let's not bother. Where was I? Let's go back to... Nope. Here we are. And Vulture, Bow Summit. This one should be one of their better ones because they can maintenance this one. No, not really. No new, it's not recording new snow. That must be hard, eh, to keep that part running. Snowpack 143. And Vulture, there's no snowpack info on that, which is not a big surprise. Whimper, that's Highway 93, Highway 93 South. So from Castle Junction, Sunshine, Lookout, Simpson, Lower Glacier, Jasper, and Yoho. So lots of information on this map. The other thing, right, we looked at that pit, no results from it. So that is really about it. Generally good skiing, I would say Next weekend is going to be freaking awesome. Get pre-sips, dribs, and drabs coming in steady. That's going to reheal the skiing that's been done. How much wind is associated with that precip is going to determine what the avalanche hazard is. These guys are trending for the better. You can see over here a glacier. They have the normal sort of, concern at the sun in the alpine, mod in the tree line, and then below tree line being quite stable. And probably just a lot of snow blowing around up there. What's this? Did we get a fatality? What was that? Oh, loose snow, an incident. Kitchners Coulior. Oh my. What do we get? Skiing Couliors, you can get some shit happening, right? Occurred to Mount Kitchners Coulior while boot packing, approximately 150 meters vertical, size 1.5 to 2, natural trigger, ran on 200 meters, probably 200 meters. Cause was dry loose from the overnight snow. We did not see the point. Most likely triggered by a slough or spin drift which accumulated in the couloir. No burials, only twisted ankle, minor laceration requiring stitches, and a lost ski amongst the group. Conditions at the fan looked favorable, light wind, some trees, less snow than 10 centimeters. Yeah, I wonder, eh? You can blame it on the snow if you want. Snowpack below the recent soft snow was boot firm. Some minor evidence of older sloughs observed when we entered, but nothing unusual for this type of terrain feature. About 5 minutes before the incident, several large sloughs were observed as winds picked up. Almost immediately after a discussion on turning around, a large slough came from above and carried all the members of the party down the couloir. How many people were in that? 4. People injured, caught, but not buried. 2. People not injured, caught, but not buried were 2. So 2 of these people were caught. Takeaways from this is our group discussed afterwards. The effect of spring may have degraded the risk of dry loose in our minds, a more typical midwinter concern. Yeah, maybe. Focus on variations with conditions described in the avalanche forecast, the changing terrain decisions, failure to fully understand the potential for overhead risk, poor visibility at the top of the line due to snow and fog, increased sensitivity to even small signs of instabilities, and awareness to changing conditions from expectations. So, and then they have a photo, right? Look at that stuff, eh? That came out. That ran 200 meters. So this is the kind of trade. Look at that though, eh? So you get, this would be, I'm guessing, like we're looking west. So the predominant winds are southwest in here. And so they're coming over this shoulder, this thing, and this thing here. These can be fully loaded. Anything in here can be loaded. Once you're in here, you're exposed to tons of terrain. Like you can't see those cornices, can you? Look at that, eh? It looks like a pretty big cornice. Definitely lots of stuff in there. See, there's skin track going up in here, so they're kind of, taking that. Must be steeper than it looks. Those are a lot of kick turns. And there they are, going like, what? I guess it never works. I don't wear a helmet in the backcountry, but I'm not saying you shouldn't, because everybody in my family skis with a helmet in the backcountry, but me. Because I'm just old school and I'm pretty damn conservative when I'm in I'm like not very likely I'm going to fall. But you just never know. But there's the overhead hazard, rock fall. And I don't plan on getting caught in something like this, but it's not the kind of thing you can plan on anyhow, is it? So there you go, folks. Watch out for wind loading, potential fluffs coming in and flushing you out. I think that's probably what that forecast. He had that information before I did, so I just found this. So that's what he's mentioning is about results from those kind of sloughs kicking it out. Ice climbers, I got nothing to say to you guys. It's getting warmer, same thing, delaminating, overhead, hazards, blah, blah, blah. That's about all I got to say about that place. So that's it for today. Conditions are good. Avalanche hazard is good. Skiing is okay for now, but it's going to get better as we get some precip this week. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough precip to significantly change the avalanche hazard a lot, except that depends what winds are coming in with it. There may be some upper wind slabs and stuff starting to form. I'd be aware of that. And then what these guys had, what they've experienced is kind of wind blowing in and then slough coming in. And they are saying that they didn't trigger this. It was the snow above that came in that triggered this. They didn't see the start zone. And this was probably reasonably similar to, I mean, it's like, you can't really tell. Like snowpack is just fucking snowpack. It's hard to tell what the hell it's going to do. Because this is a completely different aspect from that profile that we were looking at, this profile. And it's a different elevation, different location, mostly different aspects, and quite a bit lower too, I believe. This shot here, where this is, probably, I don't know, 1,000 feet lower to 1,500 or 800 feet lower in elevation, and further down the road, about 20 minutes, half an hour, to the north. And my guess is that further north you go, the better the skiing is going to be this week. And in next week, even more so. So I am done here for today. You know what I was looking at the other day? Like, I'm trying to figure out my photo library. I got to get them all in one place. They're all over a dozen different hard drives. I was running into, what happened to Buddy Boy here? Oh yeah, like that thing down, that's missing files. Kitchners Grand Central, right? Climbed this with Mark Clausen way back, freaking when, like 1990, no, 89, 1990 maybe? Something like that. So we came up, yeah, up into here. And then we got lost here somewhere. We started going up this to the ramp route, right? This is the ramp route. And then so got into about here and realized, or just past it and realized, hey, hold it, this isn't it. There's something going on. We went too far. Problem is you can't recognize the freaking landmarks. Like when you're in the valley, you kind of look at, oh yeah, that should be easy to spot, but you got to look for like specific landmarks that aren't going to show up, or are going to show up when you're still there. They're going to look the same. And I didn't do that. But anyhow, we climbed up here, and this was all, you know, pretty easy snow climbing, but the actual climbing starts like right here. And then from the pitch, I remember doing the pitch from here all the way to here, and all I got was one tied off knife blade right here. And then the rest of it, the ice was so thin that I couldn't actually put in any pro. And then luckily it got thick enough that I could get in like one really good screw and cut some tied off screws, and I made an anchor out of that. And that thing, I thought it was like, you know, take a half an hour or something to do, or that was a long pitch. It took me, Mark gets up there and says, like, man, it took you 4.5 hours. And I was like, what? That's not possible. You know, like time just stood still. Like you're so focused, right? That, yeah, there was Mark in the morning. He's not looking too cool or keen about this now. He was his idea that we go there. And now he's kind of like, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. And yeah, Mark, and good on Mark though. So, you know, there's not many people you would climb something like that, but Mark Clausen is probably one of them. maybe 2 people or 3 people I knew at that time. That was, Mark wasn't like the best climber in the world, but he was an avalanche forecaster and a buddy of mine, and I knew I could trust him. There it is too, eh? There's Kitchen Weird. So we were bivvied down here, and then we just bang right up here. I don't know what you would use for a landmark though. This thing maybe? Yeah. This with that probably would look, if you were aware and looking for it. This is kind of where I learned my lesson on checking or creating landmarks that I could find, because we wasted a bit of time here, and then it took me so long to climb this. And then I took a whipper up here, like I'm trying to get up and do like Josephson did, a direct exit sort of thing. So he says, as he couldn't. And it's the thing, eh? Like Josephson, he climbs it, does a rope solo through this thing, and then can't wait to get down and tells everybody about it. Meanwhile, Peter Arbig did it like 10 years or 15 years earlier, just soloed it, went home, never told anybody. And then when he did tell me, he said he swore me to secrecy that I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. But then, yeah, and that's the difference, right? Between like Arbig and a lot of people. Like Arbig was like, remember this notch too, eh? Coming down off of this thing. We slept underneath the cornice right here. Right there, we dug in. We got up here and it was pitch black, right? So I take a whipper here and it's on a tied off baby angle, if you can believe it, and it holds. And I swing down back in line, but then there's this line of ice and I go, oh shit, that's where I should have went. But the thing is, like, I'm being top roped now from this pin that's above me, and I'm dragging this tiny little 7 mil rope, but I go off, and now I have to get Mark to untie from the freaking thick, nice rope, tie into this 7 mil, and it's dark black, and we're climbing by headlamp, and he has no idea what I've got for an anchor right up here. And he has to untie so that I can pull the rope, our lead rope, through the gear. Otherwise, he'd go up, unclip it, and then he'd be totally unprotected from like a 100-foot swing out into space if he blew off, and he would blow off. And then, so he had to tie into that 7 mil rope, and I'm bringing him up on that. He doesn't know if I've freaking got him on belay or not. And I could hear in the darkness, I am so scared. I'm terrified, but at least I know I've got an anchor, and it's a good anchor, right? The ice is solid. I put in a couple of really solid screws, and so I know it's going to hold whatever. It's going to hold a freight train. But he doesn't know that. And he literally swings out from like here out into space, out to here, and then follows up, and it's like, and then it's pitch black, like dark in here, and it pitch dark. And here's the thing, right? My system is like, I don't have a sleeping bag. I've got a bivy sack and my down jacket. I'll show you my down jacket. I just happen to have this thing in the closet, right? So I've got this huge thing that I bought for climbing Logan and Kings Peak and stuff in the Yukon, right? It's a huge jacket. Let me just put that puppy on for you. Let me show you. Anybody want to buy a really big jacket? I'll sell this to the right person, the right price. Look at that puppy. Made by Kluane Mountaineering, Canada, in Edmonton. A little Norwegian lady made this thing. Maybe I could find, hopefully there's some money in it, or a bag of weed or something. Anyhow, so I got this, and the thing, and this thing is like a sleeping bag, but not for your legs, and then a bivy sack, and I figured, oh, I'll be fine with that. Right, I'll just close off that bivy sack, pull myself into this thing, and that'll make me weatherproof. But Clausen invites himself into my bivy sack. It's not made for 2 people, and he's got a freaking sleeping bag, right? Like, so So there I am. Suddenly my whole system is open. Like the snow is blowing around. He closes up his sleeping bag. So it's like this. And I'm freaking there. And I got, getting wet and snow. And it's like the longest, most miserable night of my life. But we got through it. Tunneled through the. Did I have another picture of, I think, where we tunneled through? Is there a picture of that? Hey, Nikki Code. Anybody remember Nikki Code? Um, I know we had, but anyhow, yeah. Here's Mark coming up. This is the before the crux pitch. So we were bibbied way down here in the valley somewhere, and then this is what the couloir looked like on the lower part. So it's pretty easy angled ice. It's pretty good alpine neve, right? And there's another one to mark here where the snow got a little deeper. And we're going up. So we're carrying packs too, right? So, because we know we might be spending the night. And this is the crux pitch, or not one of the cruxes. There's two pitches, two solid full length, 2.5 pitches. So about 130 meters, I think, to get out of here from here. And so I just wandered up here, right? And I got it like a tie. I put in a knife blade or something here. And then I thought, I'd get something here and sooner. But no, this freaking stuff is only a couple of inches thick. And you're climbing it with freaking stubas and foot fangs. And so I just kept expecting it to get better, and it never did. I should have went in here, and maybe that gully might have added more ice to it. But so yeah, this one pitch was like 4.5 hours long, and then we get to the top, and it's getting late, and we have, because we're climbing it in October, I think, and yeah. Good old Mark. This is before he got famous. Now you can't talk to him. He's too famous to talk to anymore. Anyhow, yeah, look at these old photos, eh? You want to see me back in my rig days when I was like, this is me, like I'm 18 or something. Working rigs, precision drilling. This is my mud tanks. My shaker back there, it's where all the mud flows over and then goes on the shaker, and the mud goes back in, and the cuttings go over into the rig sump. I loved working Derek. You were always on your own. Anyhow, yeah, that was it, eh? Kitchener. And then, like almost a few days later, like I didn't even have time to recover, and Golovach wanted to go climb whatever that thing is on Little Snow Dome. There he is on that, right? So this is like me climbing this thing on Little Snow Dome 2 days after I climbed Kitchener. And there's Golovach. Just do it, man. Do it. Do it. Do it, man. He only knew 3 words. Just do it. Here's another blast from past. You ever see Grant? Want to see Grant Statham? Top of South Twin. Good old Stubai. Fancy helmet. Curly hair. Who knew that he was going to go on to become one of the most famous forecasters in the world? Or the most famous Canadian forecaster. Look at this ridge, eh? Wallater went in here to do this. He was like wasted on acid for the whole thing. I don't know if he finished it or not. But he said, yeah, getting in there, the bears were the worst problem. Louise Falls, I believe. The Sorcerer. Sorcerer. Mount Alberta. I must have taken this. This is a winter picture, so this is when we were doing a winter, attempting a winter ascent. I think we camped right in here somewhere. Somewhere, yeah, there's a break. And it was, maybe it was in here. There's these things called the elephant asses. Do they show up? These not high res enough photos. Anyhow, that's it for today, folks. No blast from the past. So conditions are good. Skiing is great. Ice climbing, if you can find it. Here the ghost is like, I'd like to go do the House of Sky. Maybe next weekend with Avon if it's still in. It doesn't get any sun, so it might be hanging in there. Valley of the Birds might be a good place to go if you guys are worried about, it's got some North Aspect stuff and it's fairly sheltered. So I don't know how much of that would be melted out with the conditions that we've been having, but temperatures have been cooling a little bit. So maybe some of that stuff has been healing. I think Beowulf, that bottom pitch gets a bit of sun. I'm not sure what that's going to be like right now. I haven't heard much. There was a lot of ice that didn't. I was just reading in some of those little blue dots that you see on the avalanche page there. And there's Mount Alberta again. Different view. Alberta in the morning. Right there. There it is, right there. Now you can see that line. So somehow we managed to get up to there, climb in winter, put in a snow cave right here. And it was quite a luxurious sort of thing, but this was in December. And it was after the 21st because we waited, because we were like really official, so it would be winter, real winter. And so you can imagine how dark the days were. That would be insane, wouldn't it? If you think about it now. Oh well. Hey, Eddie, buddy. How are you doing, man? Are you back in South Korea? I thought you were in Mexico. Hey, I'm putting the flag back. I'm waiting for the ice to go out, and I'm going to hit Lawrence at the Region 3 president about getting a couple flags, and I'll buy a couple flags. Alpine PH. Dude, awesome. Good to see from you, hear from you guys. Yeah, Eddie, Ruhan, things are good here. Avon's growing up. She just got her firearm certificate yesterday. Ooh, let's go look. Let's break that out. Anybody got any questions before I get out of here? Command C. And then let's go to here. Let's go to chat browser. Doo-doo. Baby. Let's put it in here. Command V. Hit that puppy. And there you are. Transition. Yeah, guys, take it to steam mode. Yeah, so Eddie, Avon's all grown up now. She ski tours, ice climbs, rock climbs, paddled more miles than Voyager. And yeah, she's doing really well. Real socially awkward, but comes by that, honestly, right? My flag, you know what? It goes up again. I see some freaking Canadian flag on my flagpole. What is it with you Canadians? Like you just got to put your flag on other people's flagpoles? And that's my island, right? That's my settlement. That's my land settlement claim. So get your flag out of there. I'm going to go in, get your own flagpole. I have to invent those things every time. Then I got to deal with all the dumb rednecks that go out and try to take my flag down. I know. Hey, Eddie, are you coming back to Canada soon? Are you guys actually back in Korea? Eddie Wei Wan Ru was a volunteer at when I was canoeing across Canada. He helped keep the house together, him and Jorge, and sounded like they had a hell of a summer, the better summer that I did. I was so lonely and I was crying. I cried about every third day or something like that. And I never saw anybody for weeks and weeks at a time. I hadn't anticipated that. But, like I was just talking to the boat and that was it. There was like nobody anywhere. And then when people did see you, it's like, well. So anyhow, yeah, Ed, all's good here. Come on back anytime. Got a room for you. We don't have tenants anymore, so this is my studios in there. Check on the green screening. It looks like I'm popping out a little bit. Ah, so you were yeah, I figured you were in Cancun. I kept seeing a bunch of photos and stuff of yours there. Eddie's quite the photographer. And which Cancun is pretty nice place from what I've seen of yours. And I went to Baja last year. We were going to make it an annual thing, and then COVID showed up. Yeah, you're probably better off. And I hear Tyler is ripping as a skier and as an athlete. He's like, he's one of those kids that could go all the way in any sport that he wants to play. Avon is pretty much well-rounded. She can ski, climb. She has interest in all that kind of stuff. She's taken her level 1 AST with her mother, who's teaching these courses, and she pretty much has a level 2 as far as because she's out ski touring every weekend. And then what else is she doing? Oh, I got her into. I'm going to take her hunting, so we went last weekend, yesterday actually, and to Calgary and took a course, Canadian firearm safety training. And so we did that, and she passed that. She got like 92 on the written and 97 on the practical. So now she's got that certificate, so she can come out to the range. And even though she's a minor, she technically doesn't have to be supervised, right? So as long as we give her, as a minor, we give her permission. So we'll get her into bird hunting and stuff in the spring, and then away we go. But anyhow, this is probably boring all these people. Hey, drop a note sometimes, Ted, or Eddie, and we'll chat. I'll send you some photos of the kids. You'd be amazed at how big they are now, because they were just kids. They were just little kids when you were here. Jorge, I haven't heard from him in a little while, but I hope to hear from him again. He's always welcome back, same as you are. And got to thank you too for taking care of Lisa and the kids that summer. You guys sounded like everybody was having a great trip. And that was like 5 years ago already now, eh? So those of you who don't know, I was out canoeing for a while at one time. All right, folks, we are at the end of this show. Have a good, talk to you tomorrow. In the stream.